Something's happening. More and more architects seem to be shifting careers. No noise, no drama, just quietly chasing new possibilities. While some may call it quitting, we call it many architects around the world are pushing beyond the limits of mainstream architecture. In India, however, this shift often meets disapproval. For the longest time, the field's limits have been tightly guarded by traditional voices. But the real question is, as the world moves forward, does it serve to remain hung up on outdated ideas of what architecture is? Before we get into it, let's look at what diversifying is and why is it still looked down upon by many professionals in the field. Diversifying careers refers to broadening one's career path by acquiring skills and experiences in different fields. It is often outside of a traditional linear career progression. While diversification is fairly common in fields like engineering and other sciences, architecture has been slower to embrace such shifts. During the colonial and early post-colonial period, formal training, recognition, and access to architectural education were limited. Architecture became a closed circle, a space for only the privileged. Anyone who strayed from the typical path of glorified hard work was often sidelined. Practice became less about possibilities and more about staying in line. So even today, when someone does step out of this line, it is thought of as an easy escape. But is leaving architecture the same as giving up? Either way, graduates today are opting out for many reasons. So why exactly did a dream job turn into something people can't wait to leave?
The office culture was really bad. Within the first 2 weeks, I cried and I told my superior that, sir, I won't be able to continue. Sir, I did not know that the sun is so important to me because I'm not able to see the sun anymore. I am inside this dark, dingy office and I just don't see the sun.
After graduation, I was like, I love designing, but in any architectural firm, I might be ending up and doing some drafting work. Do I want that? I was honestly thinking of switching my field completely to something like UI UX design, where it's more design oriented itself, or else directly going for an MBA. There are n number of things after architecture.
So I got placed in an architectural firm. While I was working over there, the work got quite monotonous for me, You're sitting on a desk, you're doing detailings, you're doing WDs, and sitting in this office till 9, 10, 10:30, that wasn't working out for me.
These personal stories about the mismatch between passion and expectations might explain part of the issue, but there's no denying that a major data gap still exists around efforts to diversify. No formal surveys or reports take into account the number of graduates who change careers each year. Neither is there an official documentation of the reasons for transition. Changing fields is a personal choice, which is probably why it doesn't get talked about much. But when the reasons include low wages and a lack of supportive work environment, it's no longer just personal. It points to bigger systemic issues that deserve formal surveys and action from governing bodies. Because taboo or not, if so many graduates are already moving away from architecture, that says a lot. And really, what's so wrong with diversifying anyway? Diversifying is actually a great way to push the known limits of conventional architectural practice. Many professionals who moved into other fields say their training in architecture is what gave them the skills that became a real asset in the shift. We can give examples of how the shift helped people learn more and explore more. Some common fields that people often switch to include project or construction management, as well as allied design fields like product design, industrial design, and even graphic design. On the other hand, some completely different areas include technology and education. Believe it or not, sometimes the most groundbreaking work emerges at the very edges of two or more fields. In a way, diversification opens up such possibilities for interdisciplinary exploration. For instance, Arundhati Roy, architect turned writer, blends her architectural training with insights into society, culture, and politics, giving her writing a distinguished depth. Or even Ratan Tata, for that matter, who hardly needs an introduction. Diversification is happening, even if it's not always in the spotlight. Maybe the next step is being more open-minded, asking for more data transparency, and having more of these conversations like they're a normal part of the field, because in reality, they are. Things are changing, and maybe it's time to move away from from the idea that there's only one valid path in architecture. A looser, more flexible take on what practice means could change everything. And in light of this, who's to say architecture schools won't start rethinking how and what they teach? For those who want to take a closer look at the experiences of graduates taking a leap beyond, check out the links to their podcast episodes in the description below. Our next video will take a deep dive into the state of architects in the country. So make sure to subscribe to the channel to be notified when it's out. Thank you for watching.